Hi guys, how's it going? It's Wheel of Betting time once again. Sponsored by 188Bet today. My name is Chris Graham, this is Marco here. Like I say, sponsored by 188Bet for this Champions League video. And they've got a very special social media promotion which we wanted to tell you about. It's a unique one between Wheel of Betting and 188Bet. All you've got to do is press the follow button on 188Bet on their Twitter and they'll give you a £5 free bet. Amazing. If you don't have a 188Bet account, DM us at Wheel of Betting. We'll sort you out with the right link that you need and we'll get the fiver put in. We'll get 188Bet to put the fiver into your account. But essentially that is, follow 188Bet on Twitter. Because you're a Wheel of Betting viewer, you get a £5 free bet. DM us for more information. Anyway, thanks to 188Bet for sponsoring this video, Mark. We're talking about the Champions League. It starts tonight. So you may be watching this on Thursday and Friday, so the week one results may be already up and running. But let's just kick on with it, Mark. I want to hear your view. 188Bet at Barcelona's 4.5, 72 favourites here. Bayern at 5, Real Madrid at 6.5, the big three in the market.
Yeah.
Let's just start off. You got some nice stats on how things work. Starting with Spanish domination. What do you mean by that?
Well, I'll start with top four major
Right.
European League domination, because just one of the last 21 winners of the Champions League have come from outside the top four leagues, which was Porto, of course, yeah. But Spanish sides, yeah, absolutely dominant in European competition this century. 16 of the 34 major trophies on the continent have been won by La Liga clubs. Compare that with just 5 for the Premier League teams. So immediately you can sort of single out the sides from outside the top four leagues, and for me, focus on that Spanish domination, because they have been quite impressive. But just another few trends as well to look out for on previous winners. The last 11 winners have all reached knockout stages of the previous season, 9 of which reached at least the quarterfinals. And interestingly, 10 of the last 11 Champions League winners finished in the top 2 of their domestic league the previous year. So a couple of things there. And also, I'm sure everyone knows the rule now about Champions League winners do not retain their trophy. Milan, the last team to do it. But interestingly as well, previous Champions League winners, only 3 of them have gone on to reach the final the following year in the last 25 years. And if you think about it, Real Madrid were quite fortunate last year with their route towards the final as well. Compare that with especially Atletico Madrid's route to the final. So for me, that's already putting a kind of line through Real Madrid, although they are sort of tentative stats.
Yeah. Okay, let's look at team by team then. The big guns. Start with Barcelona. Shocking defeat on Saturday night. Not many folks saw that. If you back Alaves at 40-1, big respect to you, that's for sure. But Barcelona beaten on Saturday. No doubt they'll beat Celtic with 9-0 tonight, but that's by the by. How do you see them getting on this season in the Champions League?
Absolute undoubted quality throughout the squad. I think they strengthened the team significantly through the summer. Last year I was massively against them because their squad was too thin in a lot of key areas. But you know, you've seen the signing of Paco Alcacer as a backup striker, top scorer of Valencia last season. Likes of Samuel Umtiti filling in at the centre back, and now as well Andre Gomez as well in midfield. They've got strength throughout the squad. Understandable favourites for this. I'm just not willing to back them at such a short price, to be honest. Such a tough competition to win. I'm not keen to go. I just think there's 2 teams, or possibly 3, who could oust them over a 2-legged tie.
Okay, well, next in the 188Bet odds are Bayern Munich at 5-4-1. Of course, Carlo Ancelotti has replaced Pep Guardiola. And a lot of people fancy them on that basis because he's a bit of a cup manager. Do you subscribe to that?
To an extent, I think Ancelotti's pedigree in this competition has to be respected, but at the same time, I'm not just willing to have a bet on Bayern Munich just because Carlo Ancelotti's won the competition a couple of times before. The squad's definitely been fleshed out with quality. Mats Hummels and Renato Sanchez, probably the 2 biggest names, and the squad is as good as any. For me, though, there are potentially injury concerns over a few key players, whether they can last a season. And again, I just think there's a better price elsewhere, so I'm happy to leave Bayern.
Okay.
But they're definite strong contenders.
Yeah, definitely. And I think the third team at the big 3, Real Madrid, 6.5, 11-2 to win with 188Bet. They've won 2 of the last 3 editions of this competition. They seem to thrive in this competition. You seem against them, would that be right?
A little bit, yeah. Still think there's question marks on Zinedine Zidane to prove himself. I've already mentioned their route to the final last year. Of course, they've got a love affair with this competition. They'd rather win it than La Liga. The squad's stronger than it was last season. There's still doubts over cover for the likes of Casemiro. If he's suspended or injured, they've got no one ready to fill in that space. Ronaldo's a year older, getting more injury prone, so obviously question marks over Benzema. But Morata's come in. For me, Real Madrid, again, I thought they were quite fortunate to win it last year, especially in the final as well. Again, I think there's a better bet elsewhere.
Okay, well, before we come to your main selection, can you guess what it is? Think about it. Think about his love affair with one particular team, man. Anyway, before that, I'll just very quickly just skim through some of these teams. Just give me just a couple of sentences. But a lot of folk talking about Juve. They lost Pogba, but they basically look like they got their own Serie A this year. 13 to win Champions League 188 bet. Must have a chance. Huh?
I like Juventus this year. I don't think Pogba's departure was as big as people have been making it out to be. If they'd signed Matuidi, I'd been all over them, but they didn't. But yeah, this is their year. If they're going to do it, they're really keen for it.
Okay, and then Man City at 13 as well. Guardiola's made a great start. We saw that on Saturday. Humiliated Mourinho. This is his competition as well, really, isn't it? It must have a big shout.
Best coach in the world in my eyes. Man City, maybe not this year though. Premier League teams, just happy to rule them out.
Cool. And the last one in that bracket, that sort of top 7, apart from your selection, is PSG. You know, no, made a pretty poor start to the season.
Yeah, struggling without Zlatan, and Cavani's been profligate in front of goal. Also, there's been quite a sea change in approach to games. Unai Emery is more of a counter-attacking manager. Laurent Blanc preferred to boss the possession. Still a couple of things to be ironed out in PSG. I'm happy to rule them out. Last year would have been their year if it was going to happen.
Well, let's come to your main pick then. And honestly, my Arsenal, I'm absolutely stunned at that you picked Arsenal. Joking. Of course, it's Atletico Madrid, who 188 bet, priced up at 15 to 1 to win this competition. You backed them last year each way. You made a nice profit on that. They got all the way to the final. These guys are warriors. Are you buying into them again this year?
Backed them the year before as well, and I'm backing them for the third successive year because they're stronger than last season. Put it that way. No significant departures. They've added Kevin Gamero, who starred for Sevilla last year. Should have gone into the Euros of France. Added Nico Gaitan from Benfica, a wonderful playmaking winger. Simi Vrashka, Croatian right back again, another excellent addition. Crucially, Diego Simeone stayed on. He is just most underrated head coach in the world football. For me, he's below Pep Guardiola. It might not be ugly, but bloody hell, he's effective. They've only collected 5 points from the first 3 games, but that doesn't reflect their dominance in those matches. Defensively, they're just absolutely unbelievable. And for me, they're just ugly. If you look at the teams in the knockout stages, Barcelona, Real Madrid, Bayern Munich, Man City, every team we've mentioned, if there's one team they don't want to play against, it's Atletico Madrid. Last year they knocked out Barca and Bayern en route to the final. They're the better team in the final after half time. How they're rated at 16 or 15 to 1 to win it, I don't know. 7 to 1 to reach the final. I'll be backing both bets because I'm just in love with that club.
Yeah, absolutely. Third year in a row then Marco here is pinning his pounds to the Atletico Madrid mast. That was our Champions League chat. Remember, like I say, follow 188bet on Twitter. You'll get a free £5 for it. Simple as that. Just DM us at We Love Betting. We'll sort you out. We'll keep you sweet. Just hit that follow button and you get a free £5 bet with us. That's our Champions League chat over. Enjoy the competition.